Comment of the day comes to us from a owner of a nose ring and most likely multiple tattoos. This girl right here, and her comment at first when I started reading it sounded pretty reasonable, but it went downhill from then. So let me read it to you, and then we'll break it down. She says, men have created a role for themselves in relationships and are now complaining when they are asked to fill that role. What is a woman supposed to think when a traditional man won't pay for dinner? He must either be poor or secretly wish to be the woman in the relationship. So, let's first acknowledge that she's actually right in most of this post, right? And it is true. Men are put in a situation where, especially men like me, who are traditional men, and I do want to pay for dinner, but I am not going to do it on the first date because of how predatorial Western and a lot of westernized women are, even here in Southeast Asia, right? I never had to worry about taking the girl out on a dinner on the first date and not thinking that she wants to get to know me and possibly date and have a relationship. Now I have to assume that she's in for a free dinner at first, that she's using me. She is trying to see how much money I have so she can grab more afterwards, right? You kind of have to assume that. It is something that women have created for us. So, yes, it is a shitty situation that we are. And this is why I always suggest, the first date should have a budget of $10 in America or Europe and $3 here in Southeast Asia, because you essentially want to filter out women who are going after free dinners, your money in general, and are not even trying to date you. They're not trying to get to know you. And it's pretty clear when they decline a coffee date. And I've made videos in reaction to their posts on social media all over the place. Of course, all of them are single right now. Or in a subscription prostitution relationships, as I like to call it. So yeah, it is a tough place to be. But when the first date and even maybe the second date should have a budget, but after that, yes, you absolutely should take a girl out to dinner. If you see that she is really genuinely trying to get to know you and it's progressing, you either already had sex, or that's where it's leading to, there's a lot of physical interaction, then yes, you should buy her dinner. Now that dinner should have a budget as well. In America, I would take a girl to Chipotle, because by the time the relationship progressed to the point where I was comfortable buying her dinner, which is again second date a lot of times just fine, these women knew that I fucking love Chipotle, and one of the few things that I actually miss dearly um, in America. And me asking Ray, you want to go grab some Chipotle, is not because I'm trying to be cheap. It's just because that's just what I eat every day, and it's true. I eat Chipotle every day. So for the girl, it wasn't like, oh, this guy is trying to be cheap. And if she's not a gold digger, she'll be like, fuck yeah, I love Chipotle. Let's do it. I want to see what you eat at your favorite restaurant. This is part of getting to know you, right? um, and only, third, fourth, fifth date, especially if you already had sex, especially if the sex was good enough for you to continue after that, because a lot of times, like I date a girl and I have sex with her, I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna work. That's not fixable. She's just not good at it, and she doesn't want to be. So, at that point, yes, you can take her to maybe a bit of a fancier restaurant. So, so what you would think that a traditional man is also a cautious man nowadays, right? And when we do go for dinner, uh, we'd still buy the dinner. It's just it's not going to happen until we are comfortable to spend our money. Um, so, but it is a dilemma, right? This sucks. This sucks for men like me, and it sucks for traditional women as well. But what she says at the end is also, as always, gaslighting and toxic way of thinking towards men is finally kind of showing here. Though she's not 100% wrong in the last part. She said, he must either be poor or secretly wish to be the woman in a relationship. Uh, I agree with this, though the reason she's saying, right, is basically saying, well, you must be a cheap ass or a girl if you don't want to buy me dinner, right? on a first date. That's what she's not adding, right? However, I do want to say that there are plenty of men who cannot afford to be in a relationship, and these are the men. I understand they gotta try, but these are the men who need to better themselves. They need to get a better careers. They maybe need to get a side hustle to make extra money online or whatever, or move to the area where they can afford their own ass and take women out for dinner. So yes, I agree with you that. But also I agree that those men who simp enough to spend tons of money on women up front, whether buying them dinners. I know some guys who take women on trips after first or second week of dating them. Um, yes, these men are essentially secretly wishing they were women because they are. They are beta males. They're simps. I cannot call men like this men, really, when it comes to dating, right? They might be men in their regular lives, but they're certainly not men. They're not going to be men in these relationships where they right away tell a woman that, listen, I'm worth, as a man, so little that the only thing, I'm not funny, I'm not engaging, my lifestyle is boring, I'm not a good protector. The only thing I got is the money that I have. So here, let me buy your time, and we all know what else, to be with me. These men are not really men, right? This is why we created a new word for them recently: simps. So she is not wrong in factually with anything that she said in this comment. However, this is the shaming and gaslighting women do, not because they're like, well, I'm a traditional woman, and really, what am I supposed to think? Men don't act this way, and something's happening, and you know what I mean? No, she is gaslighting us because she wants the free dinners. She wants the money to be spent on her while offering nothing in return. Now, listen, I'm making an assumption about this girl, right? Now, she does have a nose ring, and she does have an attitude as I'm reading this message, and she lives in America, right? That's what we can see from the post. Now, I'm probably 99% right. Other exceptions, yes, but usually these women don't really challenge men on social media. And when they do, they definitely phrase things a little bit different. But kudos to this girl. She wasn't really what this normally sounds like, right? This comment is much worse, right? As a matter of fact, in the previous segment, we heard what it sounds like. Men ain't shit, right? But this girl actually put this quite politely. Again, don't appreciate the gaslighting, and I know where it's coming from. However, she is not wrong. So when a Western woman with a nose ring is not wrong about her estimation of what's happening with the dating scene, we should at least consider. And I did. So thank you for that comment of the day. I actually enjoyed it. Let me take another comment from The Rock. If a woman only dates for free dinners or because he's a millionaire, then there is no real love. She's only for his money, not because she likes him. Yeah, listen, no shit, Sherlock, right? I mean, but you just said it because it's obvious to you, and I just said no shit, Sherlock, because it's obvious to me. But dude, do you know how many men out there who don't understand this, who are not aware that women are actually going for their money? A ridiculous amount. I will be featuring and I think next week, simp of the week, which should be on Monday, a guy who essentially doesn't, and it blew his mind that he was taken advantage of. And I will talk about it on Monday. But this is the problem. This is why this channel exists, you know. But unfortunately, again, social media is not pushing this content out at all. I can see how many people are watching me. I could have probably gotten a bigger audience by going outside with a megaphone, right? Than the number of people watching me right now, because this content is not being pushed, because women who are in charge of our society, or actually your society over there, don't want men to know about this. They do enjoy the free dinners. So, yeah, the problem is that a lot of men just don't know this. And this is the problem that's going to continue unless more and more men speak out, more and more men promote, well, for say things like this. I'm one of the few men who can actually say this without getting fired from my job or getting canceled or having my house set on fire, right? Because I am in Thailand, though I'm sure that's coming one day. Um, So it is what it is. This is where the battle is. This is why I'm running this channel, because I really do care, and I think there is a lot of work to be done. If you want to ditch modern women and move abroad for more traditional relationships, go to themillionmanproject.com, take my most comprehensive course, and change your life.